Hey, it's summertime in Baltimore, and today the Red Sox can split this 4-game series with the Orioles. David Price, the story last night. Today, Chris Sale has the ball, going for his 6th win in a row. Hi, everybody. Beautiful day for a ball game at Camden Yards. I'm Dave O'Brien, of course, joined by Jerry Remy. Garen Austin along in just a couple of moments. Well, it's Price and Sale back-to-back. That was the expectation before the season started. It's finally beginning to happen. And so true is probably Hanley Ramirez starting to happen, because hit a bomb here last night.
Yeah, there were two great things last night. Obviously, the start by David Price, but also the fact that Hanley Ramirez hit a home run in the ball game last night, his 7th of the season. He took a breaking ball and he was able to put it about 3 rows back in left field. And it's nice to see Hanley start swinging with some power. You know, when you remember back a year ago, he got off to a very slow start also with the power numbers. You see, after 46 games last year, only 4 home runs and 27 RBIs. Now look where he finished, 31-11. Beautiful. This season, after 46 games, 7 home runs and 23 RBIs. So he's hoping to be able to pick up where he left off last year. Well, weather's warmed up a little bit, and hopefully his bat warms up, because, you know, the Red Sox still last in the league in home runs, and, you know, Hanley's a big part of that. If he's a guy that can put 30 home runs on the board, that's certainly going to help the offense.
Got to believe it's huge. Jackie Bradley, too, is starting to swing a better bat. He's now hit in 5 consecutive games. And, of course, Chris Sale is on the bump here this afternoon. Last time out, got knocked around a bit by his former team, but he does come in at 6-2. Getaway day for the Red Sox here at Camden Yards. Game 4 coming up in a moment. Baseball in Essence is brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. Buy at Toyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. McDonald's Eddie McCafe Bakery Muffin with any size hot or iced coffee for just $1.99. Plain Ridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And on this splendid Sunday afternoon in Baltimore, time to play one of our favorite games, Where's Garin? And she has found the Sultan of Swing.
Obi, I'm out here at Camden Yards standing right by the Babe Ruth statue. Ruth, of course, from the area. He grew up right down the street from the ballpark. And 100 years ago in 1917, he put up some pretty impressive pitching numbers for the Red Sox. He won 24-13 with a 2.01 ERA. It's hard to believe the Red Sox finished second in the American League that year. Speaking of impressive numbers in Baltimore, Chris Sales allowed only 1 run in his last 18 innings pitched here at Camden Yards. Obi, Jerry?
Karen, thank you very much. Great day here in Baltimore. Red Sox winners last night 5-2. Right now 3-3 on the trip. Overall, a record of 30-25. They're in second place, 3 games behind the Yankees and a half game in front of this Orioles team. Here's a look at the Red Sox lineup for the day, brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Mookie Betts will start it, followed by Andrew Benintendi and Xander Bogaerts. Mitch Moreland at first base. Hanley Ramirez, the designated hitter. Jackie Bradley in center field. Pablo Sandoval at third. Sandy Leon doing the catching, hitting 8th. And Devin Marrero at second base. He is batting 9th. Facing the right-hander Chris Tillman, 1-2 high ERA. He's been at his best against the Red Sox, where he's 10-3 lifetime.
The Orioles defense is 5th in the league. They've made 31 errors in 54 games. Manny Machado will be at third base. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop. Jonathan Scope at second, and Chris Davis, the first baseman. Left to right, Trey Mancini, Adam Jones, and Joey Rickard, and Francisco Pena doing the catching today for Chris Tillman.
Here are the umpires, brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. That is Corey Blazer behind the plate. Jeff Nelson at first, Laz Diaz at second, Doug Eddings at third base. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compra2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Pleasure to give you the weather today. Brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. 84 degrees at the moment, mostly sunny. And very, very unusual to come to Baltimore for this length of time for 4 games and not have 1 shower.
Yeah, Tillman today, the Red Sox, you gave the numbers against Boston. They're just absolutely remarkable, but he really struggled in his last outing. Only lasted 2 2/3 against the Yankees, giving up 5 earned runs. He started the season on the disabled list with a sore shoulder.
Yeah, missed the first 5 weeks because of bursitis in that right shoulder. So it's only his 6th start of the year. But a sparkling career performance against the Red Sox. We'll see which guy shows up today, but he's been very good against Boston. Mookie Betts will climb in. His batting average down a bit, down to 264. He needs to get rolling. In there for a strike and run away. Well, Mookie on the trip, just 6 for 26. Has a couple of home runs and 3 runs batted in. And Tillman's 0-1.
That's what they've been doing to Betts for the most part in this series too. They've been working him to the outside part of the plate, outside part and off the outside part of the plate.
That has led to a lot of pop-ups. I saw in the paper today in the Boston Globe. Bill Chuck had it. Little dribbler toward third. Machado will just watch it die in the grass, and Mookie's on with a base hit.
Now you take him. I mean, it's like a perfect bunt down the third base line, and Betts starts the game off with an infield hit. Once he makes contact like this, if the pitcher can't get to it, nobody's going to get to it, and nobody's going to get Mookie Betts. Of course, the pitcher, Tillman, falling off toward first base. He's got no chance. Machado has no chance. Betts at first base with 8 steals on the season, caught 1 time.
Mookie will tell his grandkids that, hey, my 500th career hit was a rocket. 200 feet, 1 bounce to the center fielder. Benintendi 259, 5 homers. Andrew last night 1 for 4, snapped a 5-game hitless skid with a single. Top of the order, trying to get on and set the table a little more frequently than they've been doing lately. Bogaerts on deck.
Tillman's a guy that you can run on. Takes him a long time to get the ball to home plate. He's a very big guy, very tall, lanky, takes him a while to unwind and get it to home plate.
He's really been the ace of their staff for the last 4 years when he's been healthy. Runner goes, as fouled away, ran in on the knuckles of Benintendi. Betts got a very good jump.
Yeah, they're not playing hit and run there. That's straight out steal. You know, you don't want to play hit and run with Mookie Betts sit there because he can steal it. Now, if you're Benintendi, you're already down no balls and 1 strike, so you can't give him another pitch to steal that base. You got to swing if it's a strike.
Benintendi 1 for 14 on the road trip. He's in an 0-2 hole to Tillman. Runner holding. John Farrell said before the game that Dustin Pedroia is getting close. He could be taking batting practice on Tuesday in New York, perhaps. On the DL since the 30th of May with that sprained wrist. And the 1-2 will miss. Pedroia getting closer and closer. Of course, it all depends when he starts to take swings against pitching, how their wrist feels. We won't know until then. 2-2. Last foul. Well, a lot happened in baseball yesterday. Edinson Volquez of Miami tossing a no-hitter. First of the year in baseball.
You strike out the side to end that, I believe.
With a flurry. Also, Albert Pujols, if you missed it, hit his 600th home run last night. And he got number 600 on a grand slam. That's the first time in history that anyone has reached 600 with a grand slam. Cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Some of the milestones yesterday. How about all the grand slams in the majors yesterday? A new major league single day record. Good take. 3-2.
That change up outside that time at 83 miles an hour, and not chasing it was Benintendi. So now Betts will be off on the 3-2 count.
Red Sox trying to jump on Tillman here in the top of the first inning as Benintendi gets a time from Corey Blazer. Sox ready to take off for New York, an off day tomorrow. And the 3-game series begins on Tuesday. And the 3-2. There goes Mookie Betts, and it's ball 4. So the Red Sox with runners at first and second, nobody out right away.
Now it's a good time to jump on Tillman. You know, he had struggles in his last outing, as we mentioned. He's not feeling comfortable right now with the first 2 hitters, even though one was a tap down the third base line. Good inning to take advantage and jump out early.
Xander at 328. Right now the number 5 hitter in the American League. Not particularly fond of facing Tillman. He's 2 for 20. But one of his hits is a home run. Strike 1. This was back in 2014. And launching a home run in September of 2014 at Fenway. Up into the monster seats off Tillman. First and second, nobody out.
Tillman's velocity so far with the fastball has been 90-91 miles an hour.
He gets speed at second. He gets speed at first. He gets speed in the batter's box. Tillman laboring right away in the 1-1. A strike. Right on the corner. Yeah, he's been their go-to guy. He was 16-6 last year, 3.77 ERA. Buck Showalter will tell you that he's been their ace. Orioles have been playing better baseball here in recent days. They have a 2-1 lead in this series. And Luke Fowl still 1-2.
Yeah, you've basically seen all his pitches. His fastball, his changeup, and his breaking ball.
Bogarts has been enjoying Camden Yards. He's been on base 18 of the last 19 games he's played here. Tillman's been tough on him. Here comes the 1-2. And he pops him up. Charging in Davis and Scope. Scope takes it with the infield fly rule in effect. And Xander did not hit it hard. One man gone. Fans, you can help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark. Visit NESN.com/survey during today's game for your chance to win. Well, here's Moreland. 264, 6 homers, 28 runs driven in. Orioles trying to get out of this jam with a double play ball. Moreland does not have a hit in the series. He's 0 for 8. First couple of months, it's pretty evident that Moreland is a very streaky hitter. When he's hot, he's very hot. He's driving the ball. He's getting a lot of doubles. Right now skidding a bit. And a 1-0. And the Ramirez on deck.
And twice trying to get him chased something up in the zone. That's the weakness for Moreland. The ball above the belt. And both pitches, the slider, which was not intended to be up there, but the slider then followed by the high fastball.
Good count for Moreland. Here comes the 2-0 with 2 aboard. Would not offer. Now 3 balls, no strikes.
Moreland might have the green light here early in the ball game. Lefty against righty. He gets a pitch down, middle in. He might let it fly. Short right field fence out there. Why not?
Is it his call?
I looked on a Butterfield. He didn't give him anything, so it might be.
Betts at second, Benintendi at first, one away, the 3-0. Didn't like it enough, and in fact, it missed the strike zone.
Yeah, that's not one you want to swing at. 3 balls and no strikes. A pitch that's not actually even a strike. That ball was away.
Hitters count. See what he's done with men in scoring position. And he takes ball 4. So the Red Sox have the bases loaded for Hanley Ramirez with 1 down in the first inning. A very, very patient Red Sox approach here against him. Opponents are hitting .350 off Tillman the first time through the lineup. .308 the second time, and .300 the third time.
Yeah, you wonder, you know, a guy that's had shoulder problems like he's had, whether he has trouble getting loose early in games. Red Sox have to take advantage of this. They've got him nowhere near his best right now. And you got Hanley Ramirez up with the bases loaded. Last night, of course, Hanley hitting number 7 on the season. I'd like to make it number 8 right here. Give the Red Sox 4 quick ones.
High pop to center, shallow, coming on Jones. Betts at third base, too shallow to test him. Out number 2. So Hanley very anxious to make something happen. Popped it up. And a huge out for Tillman.
Yeah, no way you could score Betts from third base. It was too shallow. Adam Jones coming in on the ball. Just got underneath that a little bit, a fastball, and not deep enough to get the run home. So now you need a big 2-out base hit by Bradley.
Well, you don't want to squander this chance. Tillman's walked 2 men. Hasn't thrown that many strikes in the inning. Jackie, 231, 7 homers, 22 RBIs. One of the hotter hitters, though, that the Red Sox are putting out there. 5-game hitting streak. And the first one is inside, ball 1. He homered off of this guy last June. Again, that was at Fenway, but up into the bleachers. 2 down, bases loaded here in the top of the first inning. And that is strike 1.
And Bradley's only been up 1 time this season with the bases loaded. 0 for 1 in that situation. Questioning that outside call that time.
Betts, Benintendi, and Moreland filling them up. And the 1-1. Line shot, base hit right field. Betts in to score. Benintendi coming in. He will score. Throw comes into second base. Moreland trying to take third. He's in a rundown, and Machado will tag him out. 2 runs did score on the base hit by Jackie Bradley, who's now hit safely in 6 consecutive games. And the Red Sox grab 2 right away against Tillman. Runs in the top of the first with the bases loaded. Time to look at the Oriole lineup, brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Joey Rickard leads it off. Adam Jones next. Then it's Machado, Trumbo, and Chris Davis. Trey Mancini in left. He's hit 7 home runs. Scope at second. Francisco Pena doing the catching, and J.J. Hardy at shortstop batting ninth against the Sox starter. Presented by your New England Audi dealers. Chris Sale, 6-2, 2.77 ERA. 3-2 lifetime against Baltimore. He's already thrown a dandy against them this season and fires strike 1 on Rickard. Remember, he opened the game against the Orioles on May 2nd at Fenway by fanning the first 5 he faced. Line drive in the left field, and that'll fall down for a base hit near the line. Benintendi cuts it off. Runners heading for second. The throw will bounce high and not in time. Rickard with a double to lead things off.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 14th in the league with 40 errors in 55 games. Pablo Sandoval will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts to shortstop, Devin Marrero at second, and Mitch Moreland at first. Left to right, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts, and Sandy Leone doing the catching.
So no 5 consecutive Ks to begin this one for Sale against Baltimore. Lead off 2 base hit brings up Adam Jones, the center fielder, 257. He's hit 10 home runs. He went for the downs and came up empty. Big swing.
Yeah, big swing, expecting a fastball, didn't get it. Got a changeup from Sale.
And the fast-working lefty's 0-1. Fouled away. Sale number 5 in the American League in ERAs, 3rd in innings pitched. He's number 1 in strikeouts in all of baseball. Trying to make Adam Jones his first strikeout here this afternoon. And the 0-2. He puts him away.
You know, we talked about it last time that he pitched in Chicago, and a lot of his strikeouts against right-handers come on this fastball that's away. And it's almost like, you know, you see Leone setting up inside, but the ball just sails away, but he's picking up strikeouts that way. So he's actually missing his location, but still good things are happening.
Sandy Leone out for a conversation. I'll say this, the Red Sox catching corps likes to talk a lot to the pitcher.
Especially Leone. He's out there quite a bit.
They're not the only catchers in baseball to do that, but it's frequent. Here's Machado. Hit a home run again last night. And the last time they squared off, of course, that throw behind his legs at Fenway. Eventually he would strike him out. We haven't seen anything like that in this series. Big breaking ball, and he swung and missed and a pitch into the dirt.
Yeah, the couple of sliders that he's thrown so far have been really, really good ones. Big breaks to him and hard.
Sale beat the White Sox his last start. He did allow a season-high 6 runs on 10 hits. Struck out 9. And a 1-1 pitch with a man at second. Sale now the 111 strikeouts and 78 in the third. He has a 2-0 lead. Another breaking ball. Machado has hit 6 home runs this season against Boston, so that's half of his home run total. 1 in his career against Chris Sale. And he walks him. So runners at first and second. Trumbo next. Time of the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. American League leaders in fewest base runners allowed per 9. Sale is number 2 behind Dallas Keuchel of Houston. That Astro team is something else. They've gotten to 40 wins. They have now won 9 in a row. They won their 9th straight on Saturday. Every time you turn around, they're winning like 8 or 9 in a row.
Yeah, they're just making a mockery of that division.
Trumbo 272 with 8 homers. Strike 1. Five hits and 17 at bats against the Sox left-hander with 1 home run. Orioles live and die with the homer. Runners go. Here's the throw down to third, right on target. The tag, he's out. They cut down Rickard safely into second base. Machado, but 2 down.
I tell you, it just doesn't make much sense to me. You know, it's a team that doesn't run very much, and then you've got the power hitter Trumbo at the plate, and this is very easy. Leon stepping behind the hitter and making that accurate throw to third base to Sandoval, and that was from a standstill position. It wasn't even like he had a walking lead at second base. I know you try to push the envelope against a tough pitcher.
They're going to look at it. This play is under review. It looked like from that angle we saw the last one that Rickard may have pulled back the left hand, gone in with the right, maybe around the tag of Sandoval.
Let's take a look. Pulls it back. Does the hand get on there before the tag? That's the question. And from that angle, it's very hard to tell. This might give us a better look. I don't know if I can't tell if the tag's on the chest or not.
I couldn't from that angle because he blocked the tag. So the question becomes, do they have enough evidence to overturn the call, which is out. And they're looking at it now, play under review in New York. And from the angles we saw, I think it's inconclusive.
Yeah, the 2 angles we look at, you can't tell where the tag is from Sandoval. Still can't tell because you can't see the hand getting on the bag.
Yeah, there's something else to consider here. Was the tag on him, or did he miss with it? And can they even tell with the angles that we just saw?
Well, you know, those are things you got to do against Sale, and I don't necessarily agree with them. We'll see how this call goes.
Safe.
Safe.
So they overturn it. No caught stealing. So it worked. Second and third. And only one man out. The Trumbo, the batter.
Boy, I tell you, these guys now that use this head first slide, they've made an art out of it. You know, being able to avoid tags. They really have.
Well, Mike Trout was injured, and he's on the disabled list 6 to 8 weeks after diving head first. Even now, he said, there will be times where I'm going to go to that.
Yep.
I may not do it as much as I did before. Came right at him at 96 and the count 1-2. But Trout's saying, yeah, I'm still going to use it on plays probably like that. Rickard with a nifty slide. Machado got into second base as part of the double steal. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, foul ball. Chris Davis on deck. Could be the most important strikeout of the day if Sale can ring up Trumbo right now. Then he gets the lefty. Two.
That fastball a little bit better here in the first inning than it was in the last outing against Chicago. He's hit 97 with it a number of times.
Got to believe that was an emotional night for him against the team he pitched for 7 years. The 2-2. He blows him away. 97 for his second strikeout of the inning. Big one there.
When you're sitting at home and you're watching the strikeouts from Sale, and if they're on fastballs, just watch the location of them. They're almost all away. Again, Leon was jumping to the inside part of the plate, but the ball sails up and away.
Now Chris Davis, 1 for 12 lifetime against Sale. Breaking ball for ball one. Didn't miss by much. Davis just 232 with 12 home runs. That didn't snap at all. Mancini on deck.
Tried to snap off the breaking ball, but no snap to it. It almost hit the leg of Chris Davis.
He was hit safely in 5 in a row. 2-1. And back in May became the first Orioles player in club history to hit 2 extra inning go-ahead homers in the same game against the Tigers. Lined very softly. That'll drop down for a base hit, and that's going to tie up the ball game. Rickard in, Machado in. We're tied 2-2. Davis dunking in a 2-run single off of Chris Sale.
Well, it's the fastball from Sale, and just really, you know, off the label of the bat to the opposite field. Very soft line drive, but in a good spot. Nobody there, and 2 runs come across. So by being aggressive, picking up the stolen bases, they get 2 men in the scoring position. The base hit to the opposite field brings them in. Hold the ball game.
Mancini 295, 7 home runs for the youngster. Prodigious power. Out of Notre Dame. And a 1-1. Mancini hit 8 home runs in his first 17 major league games. He matched the big league record for most home runs over 17. Carlos Delgado and Trevor Story.
Trying to stop that breaking ball on the outside part, and hopefully breaking it on the corner, but not enough bite that time.
By his standards, this is a very, very long first inning for Sale. And the 2-2. Fouled it away. In the inning, a double, a walk, and a 2-run single. And a double steal on deck. Scope. Davis off first, a very small lead.
First inning ERA so far this year against Sale in the first inning coming in this game was .029. It's unusual to see a couple of runs put on him early in a game.
He'd like to end it right now on this pitch. If he does, he strikes out 3 in the first. Mancini working him for a full count. Davis will be off to the races with 2 down. And this has been a labor for Chris. And now the 3-2 pitch. Runner takes off. And a high fly down the right field line. Betts will watch that one sail into foul ground. Uncaught. Now you can live stream any NESN Red Sox game on your favorite device anytime, anywhere you go. Visit NESNGO.com right now or download the NESN Go app and try it out today. Maybe on your way to Cape Cod. By now, by the way, you should already be there. You're late. Maybe coming home. 3-2 ground ball to third. Sandoval will sling it in, and he throws it away into right field. Runners are going to be safe at first and second. The inning should be over.
Now my question is, where was Marrero? He wasn't even near the bag when he threw the ball there.
Yep. He was very, very late getting into that frame.
Yeah, watch Marrero now. It's contact made. Does he think Sandoval's going to go to first base? I mean, he's very late getting to the bag. And I don't know why. I mean, look how far he is when Sandoval's got the ball, and he's got a charge. I mean, and to me, that should not be an error on Sandoval.
Not a bad throw. It looked like Marrero kind of tapped him on the head and almost apologized for not being there.
Yeah, it's almost like he took for granted that Sandoval was going to throw the ball to first base, and you always go for the easiest out. That was a mental mistake right there by Marrero at second base.
They haven't posted the error yet, so we're not sure who it's on yet. But it prolongs this inning. Mancini becomes the runner and Scope the batter, and he can be very dangerous. 8 home runs. And a line shot deep into the corner, and that's going to be a fair ball. 1 run is in. As the throw comes back to the infield, runners at second and third, and Baltimore has taken the lead on a shot by Scope and his 28th RBI.
Well, they are coming out and they are being very aggressive. Look, the last time they faced Sale, he just striking out guy after guy early, right? So what do? They're coming out there swinging very early in the count to make contact. I believe that was a changeup that time from Sale, and rocketed right down that left field line. I thought they were going to score 2 runs on this. The throw comes into second base, and they hold the runner at third base. That surprises me.
On a previous play, there was no error charged. It was a straight fielder's choice. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Here's Pena. He becomes the 8th man to hit against Sale in the inning. The son of the former Red Sox catcher Tony Pena. Orioles are pressing for a big first inning against the Red Sox ace. And a strike. 1-1. Pena with a gaudy batting average of .571, but he's 4 for 7 on the season. Here comes number 34. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What a long inning for Sale.
Yeah, a lot of pitches thrown for him here in the first inning.
Looking to end the first, but the Orioles have the lead 3-2. And 2 men in scoring position. And it's full.
That's pitch number 35 right there for Sale.
This has been a struggle and a mental mistake in the inning too by his defense on a play that should have ended the inning. Three-2, foul straight back. Pena hanging in there. His first major league home run came against the Red Sox. It was last June against Noe Ramirez. Hardy next. And the payoff pitch to Pena. Well, he's being pesky. Been some long at bats. Mancini at third, Scope at second. Line foul. Jumped on that one, a slider. Pena called up from the minor leagues from AAA Norfolk on the 31st of May, so he's not been with the big league club very long. Sale trying to put him away, and finally does. So he strikes out 3 men in the inning, but he also gives up 3 And now it's the Orioles on top. The 07 Red Sox World Championship game number 56. The Red Sox lost to the A's 5-4. Eric Chavez hit a walk-off homer off of Kyle Snyder at the bottom of the 11th to give Oakland the victory. Red Sox are trailing here suddenly 3-2 against Chris Tillman and the Orioles. Sandoval will lead things off in the second. A lengthy inning, to say the least, for Chris Sale. That is such a rarity.
Yeah, he didn't expect that in the first inning. 2 runs off Tillman, then 3 off Sale.
And a couple of bizarre things happen. The slide by Rickard on the double steal. Sandoval did not get the tag on him until it was too late, apparently. Very creative slide there. Give him credit for getting in there. And Sandoval with the throw down to second base with Marrero, and it was just a mental mistake, apparently, failing to cover. No error charged on the play. Red Sox got Tillman for 2 in the first inning. He walked 2 men, so he's been all over the place early. 3-1 on Pablo. Then it's Leon, and then it's Marrero, bottom third of the order for the Sox in the second. Sandoval hitting .230, 4 homers. He's driven in 12. 3 for 9 lifetime against the right-hander Tillman. And the payoff pitch. Something the Red Sox did all night long last night was foul off pitches. And they have been at the top of the charts in that category this season, fouling off pitches. That's a bullet. That's headed for the alley. Onto the grass, headed for the warning track, and now the fence. Sandoval into second base and a double to start the second inning. Let's look back at that first inning. And a lot happened in it for a 3-2 Baltimore lead.
Now Jackie proudly getting the base hit right here. The drive in, a couple of runs without coming with 2 outs, and then Davis, so the little bloop down the left field line of Chris Sale was a big hit in the game, and Jonathan Scope right there, bringing in another run. Looks like Scope hit a changeup down that left field line.
Leon 233, 4 homers. Swinging a better bat in recent games. Hitting 300 in his last 20 games. Sandoval quickly into scoring position after the double. Right through there for a strike. Tomorrow, day off in New York City, and then the Red Sox begin the series against the Yankees Tuesday. Drew Pomeranz against Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka with a high ERA, 6.34. Back to the mound. Tillman looked at third. Nothing going on there. He throws on to first to get the out. Sandoval holding at second base, and one man is out.
Yeah, Wyatt's decision by Sandoval, the hole at second base there. You could see quickly Tillman spinning to see if he was going to third. If he was, he would have been out. But he remains in scoring position at second base. They do get the out at first base.
MLB.TV Premium is back better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Herrera looking to pick up the run. 181 with 3 homers. Of course, 2 on one magical night in Chicago. And he drove in 5 runs. Devin said, I couldn't remember going back to high school ever hitting 2 home runs in one game. He said maybe in high school. 1-1. Bottom of the 4th, Yankees leading Toronto 1-0. Yankees hit a bunch of home runs yesterday. Brett Gardner has 13. It's not a misprint.
We'll get to see that up close and personal on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week.
Rick Porcello goes Wednesday. David Price on Thursday in that series. 1-2. Down he goes. The 2 down. Top of the order now, Mookie Betts. Probables in the upcoming series. Sox facing Tanaka, Sabathia, and Pineda. CC Sabathia at 6-2. Price coming off a dandy last night. Well, here's Mookie Betts, an infield single in the first inning, and came in to score the first run.
Much better velocity, 94 this inning for Tillman. Started off the game at about 91, up to 94 that last fastball.
Two down Sandoval, the runner at second. 3-2 Baltimore in the second inning. Punch foul. Now this is the 13th of 19 meetings already between the Red Sox and the Orioles. I'm ready to look at somebody else. How about you?
Yeah, the schedule's crazy. I mean, it really is. You don't see it now till when? September?
Yeah. It's amazing. The heavy opponent after the All-Star break for the Red Sox is going to be Toronto. You're going to see a ton of the Blue Jays in the second half. The 0-2. Check swing. Did he offer? No.
Tried to drop the curveball here on Mookie Betts. We'll take a look from the side. Does he go? No, he does not go.
Sox have only seen the Yankees 3 times. The 1-2 to Mookie Betts. Good eye. 2-2. Benintendi hoping to bat in this inning. He's walked and scored. Two. Popped up is Hardy and Machado takes it to retire the side. So Tillman pitches around the lead-off double. Bottom 2, 3-2 Baltimore. Red Sox with an ugly first inning behind them. They don't want to duplicate that anytime soon. As Hardy will lead things off, hitting .214 with 3 homers. Sale could really use a brisk second inning. Here's Sandoval down to get it from the grass, throws him out, and a good start there. 1 away. Time for our twisted but true fact. His last start, Sale went the fewest innings, allowed the most hits and most earned runs of 2017 for himself, but he still got the win. Twisted tea tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. Red Sox beating the White Sox that night. So Chris has won 5 in a row. That ties a career high personally. And the 0-1 to Rickard, who doubled and scored as part of their double steal in the first inning. And a 1-1 to the leadoff man. Sale looking for the K. He struck out 3 men in the first.
3 straight changeups he's thrown to Rickard right there, fouling the last one off to stay alive with 2 strikes, 1 and 2, and somebody's going to get a souvenir.
Popped up into right. Mookie Betts plenty of time to get there, fighting the sun a bit, but he'll make the play. 2 down. In front of Adam Jones. Get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. First aid station at Fenway is behind section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org. Adam Jones struck out first inning. So did Trumbo. So did Pena. In between, they got 3 runs. Base is empty. Machado on deck. Adam Jones with 10 home runs. Recently came back after missing 4 games because of an ankle injury. He's a guy that Buck Showalter really relies on, and they have an interesting relationship. He talks about the leadership of Adam Jones and how that impresses him. They don't always agree. In fact, they often disagree. Fouled back out of play. For example, when they decided to move Jones back about 5 or 6 feet, positioning him in center field a little deeper this year, he wasn't in love with the idea, and he made it known. He felt it was a bit of a criticism he didn't deserve about balls being hit over his head, although the numbers indicated it was happening more frequently. 2-2, a lunging foul.
It's important to have an agreement or an understanding with the manager where you can go talk to him about things and not be confrontational. Just give me the reasons why. And you don't have to agree with everything the manager is saying, but have respect for him and have respect to listen to why he's saying things.
Slicing fly, that's going to go foul. And it seems like they do have that kind of relationship where he can go into his office. I saw them talking out here on the field before game 1.
Yeah, it happens on every ball club. I mean, there are a number of players throughout the course of the season that are very unhappy with what's going on in their role. And when you go to the manager and you ask him about it, you say, well, here are the numbers. It backs it up, but it's tough for players to accept.
Especially when the guy's getting a little bit older. Not to say he's old, but a little bit older, a little more age. Maybe you've lost just a little bit in that first step,
Absolutely. You're not the same now as you were 10 years ago.
Sometimes you're the last one to really accept it. Machado waiting on deck. And the 2-2. He's really spoiling some pitches here. That soft breaking ball as he flicks it foul.
Yeah, they're really making Sale throw an awful lot of pitches here in the first couple of innings.
He's at 54 right now. Two. Fouled again.
Even like that right there. I mean, completely fooled, right? On a fastball that was inside, but still able to tap it and foul it off. Pitch number 9 of this at bat. Fastball comes inside, and I mean, fooled on the swing, totally fooled, but just gets a piece of it.
And finally, he strikes him out for the second time. He does get them 1-2-3. 3-2 Orioles.
Of the Ultimate Red Sox Show presented by AAA. We'll look back at Jim Rice's Nesson Dance Party. That's tonight at 6 right here on Nesson.
Jim Rice's Nesson Dance Party.
Yes, took place in the studio.
Sounds like it should be syndicated. Benintendi walked and scored in the first. Mike Narachi, as the pitch came in, said, or illegal. Syndicated or against the law. Bogart's on deck, and the 1-0. High fly ball into right field. Rickard backing up, turning, and she's gone. Benintendi with his 6th home run of the season. He has tied the ball game here in Baltimore. 28th run batted in. Looking like he's starting to get his stroke back.
Well, let's hope so, and that won't hurt. This ballpark is really made for Benintendi. You know, he's a pull hitter. It's very short out there into right field. He gets a fastball right down the middle of the plate and just barrels it up and gets it out of the ballpark to give the Red Sox now the tie in the ball game.
Knotted 3-3. Xander is 0 for 1. He's popped up to second. And for every Sox home run this season, Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Now through the end of July, when you use your Speedy Rewards card, you purchase any size fountain or frozen drink for 69 cents. Get an entry code to win a VIP experience. A 3-3 game here in the third. You figure it could be a day, Jerry, where the ball's really going to carry. It's a bandbox anyway.
Yeah, and the warm weather in the summertime here, and you know it is warm today. The ball does carry very, very well. It's like Chicago when we just left. I mean, on warm days there, it just flies out.
Line drive and a base hit past the diving Hardy. Xander Bogaerts quickly on here after the home run by Benintendi.
Good plate coverage there by Bogaerts as he gets a breaking ball that time from Tillman, able to reach out and almost one-handed on a line past J.J. Hardy. Watch the location of this pitch. It's not bad. It's down, but look at that. Good solid contact. Hand releases after contact, and just by the dive of Hardy.
It might have been a strike. Maybe, maybe not, but he gets more hits off of non-strikes.
Well, he's got great plate coverage. You know, his body can be out of there, but his hands are always in a good position to hit.
Moreland walked in the first inning against Tillman. To the first baseman, Davis, gloves, fires down to second, got the out, back to first, no. Thrown up against the sidewall, but it did not leave the field of play. So Moreland at first base with one down. And Hanley Ramirez coming up.
Now Davis doing his job. You know, you see him back up there to play the big hop, then step inside so he doesn't hit the runner. But J.J. Hardy on the return throw, Davis could not reach out and get it, but didn't hurt because it didn't go into the dugout or anything. So the man just remains at first base.
And Hanley Ramirez came up with the bases loaded in the first inning, went after the very first pitch, and he popped it to center. Not deep enough to bring in a run, so he's 0 for 1. 1 for 8 against Tillman in his career. This time lays off ball 1. The home run by Benintendi. He had gone 22 games since his last home run, so he was due.
I should have had those mic'd up between innings because we were both talking about it.
Yeah, thinking he might go yard.
Yeah.
The 1-0. High fly into right center field. Not nearly as much carry on this one, and Jones will have that in the alley for the second out. Jackie Bradley next. You can help Nesson by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP Nesson experience at the ballpark. Visit Nesson.com/survey during today's game for your chance to win. Bradley with a 2-run single in the first. Seems like he gets a pretty good look at Tillman too. He's 6 for 15 with a homer against the right-hander. That one disappeared. 0-1. Bradley now the 6-game hitting streak. And 1-strike pitch. I'll twist foul out of play. 0-2. Yankees have taken a 1-0 lead over Toronto into the 6th inning. New York has Severino on the mound today against Stroman at Toronto. Two out in the 0-2. Hard hit. Nice snag by Davis. He's up to get it. Gets the out at first base. However, Benintendi launches a very high, majestic shot, and the Red Sox have tied it in Baltimore 3-apiece. Bottom half of the third, we're tied up 3-3 in Baltimore. Jerry Remy and Dave O'Brien with it as Machado gets in against Sale. He walked and scored in the first inning when they scored 3 times. Red Sox have now fought back to even it up on the Benintendi home run, which led to some funny stuff inside the Red Sox dugout. We're going to show you as he moved through the dugout. Watch some of the congratulations. That's the flow, bro, with those two. And it went on and on, one after another. Sandoval messing with him. I think they like the kid. The 2-1 breaking ball in for a strike. After all, he's 22.
Yeah, I mean, you know, life's pretty good, right? 22 in the big leagues.
Not bad. A Trickler to first base, and Moreland with an easy play, and Machado set down, but as gently as he can hit one.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC and Steve will break down today's game, and you'll hear from Chris Sale and John Farrow. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason.
One gone. Trumbull to batter. He whiffed in the first inning. He was the #1 seed in last year's home run derby at the All-Star game.
Didn't like that call at all. Puts him down in the hole 0-1, but it looked like the breaking ball did pick up the bottom of the strike zone.
Popped up on the infield, and Bogarts looking up into the sunshine for the second out. Time for our Xfinity X1 report as we send it down to Garen Austin. Hey, Garen.
Thanks, Obie. Well, Brian Johnson left his start with Pawtucket yesterday due to a cramp in his right hamstring. John Farrell said he talked to Johnson. He's doing better, but they are still waiting for test results. However, he is still the likely candidate to start for Eduardo Rodriguez against Detroit. And Dustin Pedroia is making progress. He's been swinging in the cage, and they're hopeful that he'll take BP on Tuesday. And Josh Rutledge was scratched from yesterday's game due to dehydration. He's doing better and is available, and Matt Barnes has rejoined the team. Guys?
Okay, thank you, Garen. Great news, of course, on Pedroia. We talked about that a little bit earlier, how quickly he is progressing. And, you know, when Brian Johnson got hurt last night, we had the night off. And when he walked off the mound very early in that contest, I was getting all sorts of texts and emails, you know, that he had torn something or it was a really horrible injury and he had to come out. A check swing there by Davis. And Red Sox officially calling it a cramp in that hamstring.
And we'll see how it develops over the next couple of days for him. But that start wouldn't come up till probably what, over the weekend sometime?
Saturday. Yep.
Sunday.
He won 2. Red Sox won't need a 5th starter until Saturday. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Davis singled in a couple of runs in the first inning. Mancini on deck. And drilled in there to catch him looking, strike 3. 1, 2, 3 they go. Worn by Jerry Remy and others. Are designed by Joseph Abboud, custom made in the USA of fine Italian fabrics. Available at Men's Warehouse. Text NESN to 66960 and receive a coupon for $20 off your next purchase of $100 or more at Men's Warehouse. Data rates apply. Top of the 4th, and we're locked up 3-3 with Sandoval having doubled his first time up, leading things off. Well, it's Sandy Leon and Devin Marrero. Red Sox did not get him in after that leadoff double in the second. Pablo with 4 home runs on the year. Pitch will skip right on by Pena. 2-1. Sox 3-3 on the road trip. Tillman's 2-1. Punch to the right side. And 1 man gone. Fans with Benjamin Moore, you can paint like no other. Go to benjaminmoore.com to find your nearest retailer. Today is veteran broadcaster Fred Manfra's final game on the air for the Orioles after 25 years. He's retiring from broadcasting. He's a native of East Baltimore. A nearly 50-year broadcasting career, and a great guy to boot. This is in between innings, saluted here at Camden Yards to an outstanding ovation. The players got up as well as Buck Showalter in their dugout.
That was a very nice moment.
Covered the NBA Finals, NBA All-Star Games, the Olympics, the Breeders' Cup. Shot to center field, backing up Jones. He'll turn and make the catch. And Leon hit it hard, but he's out number 2. Talking to Fred downstairs around the clubhouse before the game, he said, you know, last year I didn't do nearly as many games. I spent time at home. You know what I realized? Summer's a lot of fun. You know, outside the booth, I said I got used to it with my grandkids 2 houses away. So best of luck to Fred, one of the great guys in our business, in his retirement. Then Marrero 0 for 1. He struck out in the second. Betts on deck. He pops that one up, but that'll go foul. Back over the top of the Red Sox dugout. Yankees now the 2-0 lead in the 6th inning on Toronto. The Rays have gone out west and lost a couple of games in Seattle. They're now 29-29. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hardy to his left, and the side is retired. Red Sox go quietly here in the 4th inning.
tomorrow evening at 5:30. We'll have highlights and analysis from Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Warriors and the Cavs. NESN Live is presented by Cross Insurance.
Bottom of the fourth in a 3-3 game. Mancini leading things off. And lines one to right. And Mookie coming on and did not make the catch. He's going to complain to Laz Diaz. It's ruled a base hit. And this, of course, reviewable. Mookie coming on to try and make a shoestring play on it, and he swears that he caught it.
Yeah, we'll take another look here. Does he get the glove? Is it in the glove before it hits? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's going to be an out.
This should take just 20 seconds, if that. This should be a very quick review.
Yeah, there's no question there that the glove was on the grass. The ball was in the glove, not on the grass, and this shouldn't take very long at all.
Mancini hit it stiff. Mookie with that big glove, able to get it down and snatch it before it got to the grass.
One more look at it, pretty clear. Plenty of glove and no grass.
You know, Mancini, I think, knows the ball was caught. Saw in his reaction there. And he is out on a liner to right. So one away here in the bottom of the fourth. Mookie's expression was priceless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's what we would all do.
Yeah, I mean, you're in disbelief.
Yeah.
I mean, you know you made a great play, and it's not going your way.
One away Scope next. He's doubled in a run, 1 for 1. He's 3 for 11 lifetime against Sale.
That review only took 50 seconds. That's the shortest one we've had this season.
Well, they were making a concerted effort to really shorten up those reviews. This is Friday night. The diving play to steal a hit. Two and one on Scope. One of the more powerful middle infielders in the American League. Though they had a bad leadoff for a little bit last year.
And Chris Sale couldn't believe that last pitch was not called a strike. A slider on the inside corner.
Punch down the right field line. That's sailing toward that wall. That's going to be a fair ball onto the warning track. Mookie plays it on a bounce. Here's the throw, and it's offline. So it'll be 2 bases for Scope for the second time. Two doubles.
If you notice, you know, it happened last game too against Chicago, and it's happening here again today. They're being very, very aggressive against Chris Sale. They're not waiting around for a strikeout. You know, the first strike they see, they're going after. That time he gets the fastball and he just slices it to the opposite field. An easy double. So a man in scoring position with the 1 out here in the 4th inning. Scope 2 hits on the day, drove in a run back in the 1st.
Sends up Pena, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So a 1-out double for Scope in a 3-3 game, and he tied him up with that one on a slider in. Toronto has tied up the Yankees 2-2. Orioles have 4 hits, and 3 of them are doubles off Sale. Quickly 0-2. AL East standings coming into play today. New York up by 3, 3.5 over the Orioles. Red Sox and Baltimore have been exchanging second place here in recent days. The 2-strike pitch. Just got a piece of it. Aaron Judge, the gigantic right fielder for the Yankees, with 18 home runs. He leads the major leagues. Look what he's done at home. You figure that ballpark in Yankee Stadium will really play extremely small with a 6'7", 260-pounder. Red Sox heading to New York next. And a 3-game showdown with the Yankees. Scope at second, 2 strikes on Pena. And Sale with the 0-2. With the breaking ball, down he goes.
Second time he has struck him out. The first time was on a fastball back in the first inning. Now he goes to that big slider to pick up the strikeout and the man in scoring position. Boy, a lot of movement on that. Starts way outside, ends up way inside and low around the ankles.
Pretty nasty. Lexus making a pledge to strike out hunger every time a Sox pitcher strikes out an Oriole hitter. Lexus donates $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Here's Hardy. That skips. Runner trying to advance, and he will scope safely into third base as Leon could not get a handle on it. That'll be a wild pitch.
Now the man at third puts pressure on the infielders now. You know, with any kind of bobble, a run scores if you don't get the man at first base. So it doesn't look like much, but it does put pressure on the infielders. Change up that time that gets away from Leon. He blocked it, but up the first base line, and Scope takes third.
2-0. Hardy with a ground out to third his first time up. Not much of a batting clip or an on base percentage. Still some pop in that bat though. That's a strike. He ranks second on the Orioles all-time home run list by a shortstop. He's hit 106, trailing only Cal Ripken, but Cal hit 345 as a shortstop. Three and one. 2 down, and the go-ahead run at third base for Baltimore here in the 4th inning. Foul away. 3-2.
They've done a lot of that today too against Sale. You know, a lot of aggressive swing and a lot of foul balls.
Last one a changeup on 3-1. And a breaking ball sets him down. Well, he can really pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts, and he freezes that man at third base.
The Red Sox final presented by Plainridge Park Casino. TC and Steve will break down the key moment in today's game and preview the Red Sox next series against the Yankees.
3 games coming up starting on Tuesday night from the Bronx. Here in Baltimore, last game of the 4-game series, tied up 3-3. Red Sox trying to get out of here with a split. It is the longest road trip of the season for the Red Sox in terms of days. It ties for games at 10 games in 11 days. Mookie has singled and popped up. He's 1 for 2. Sox playing their 13th game already against the Orioles. They won the season series against Baltimore last year 11-8. Then a long break and don't see them again until quite late in the season. Bounding ball. Hardy to be tested. Down for it. Throwing. Close got him. Just nipped him at the tape for the out.
You know, one thing about J.J. Hardy, he has been a very solid defender throughout his whole career. I mean, he nothing real flashy from him, but he just gets the job done.
Hey, stay tuned after the 3rd out of this half inning for the mid-5th studio show presented by GMC. Benintendi walked and scored in the 1st. He homered in the 3rd. A solo shot to lead off the inning off Tillman. And that tied the game at 3, and that's where we sit here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Tillman just mixing up his pitches, his fastball, curveball, slider, his changeup.
Popped him up, but foul down the left field line out of play.
You know, I watch him pitch, and I don't mean to. I'm not dishing on him. It's just that you wonder. You see his stuff, and you say, how in the world he's had so much success against the Red Sox? You know, it's amazing. I mean, he's. What was he? 10-3 lifetime against him? Yeah, with a 2.95 ERA.
His 70th pitch today. Red Sox had him on the ropes in the 1st inning. Benintendi got him in the 3rd. Swing could do a lot of damage in this ballpark. His 6th home run. Xander Bogaerts waiting on deck. And a 1-2 from Tillman. Benintendi snapping an 0 for 19 last night with a base hit. He's had an 0 for 26 recently come to an end. Beautiful swing on the home run. Here's the 2-2. And pops this one up. Third baseman Machado in a very shallow left for the 2nd out. Don't miss a game when the Red Sox hit the road. You can import the NESN Red Sox calendar into your favorite desktop. You'll get automatic updates, game reminders, and more. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the schedule today. Bogaerts with the bases empty. He's popped up and singled in this one. He has doubled and scored in back-to-back games. He keeps on hitting. Line toward left, out into the corner, but a foul ball. The 1-strike pitch. He let it go and it missed. Moreland on deck. High pop up right around home plate, and Pena chucking the mask puts it away, and the Red Sox go 1-2-3 for the second inning in a row. We're tied 3-3. Now time to turn it over to TC and Steve for the mid-fifth studio show presented by GMC. Thanks for the break, too. As we take you to the bottom half of the fifth inning, a 3-3 game here. And Rickard will lead things off. On the day, he is double and flied out to right. Sale has allowed 3 doubles so far, and a 2-run single to Chris Davis. Seven strikeouts for Chris. Leading the major leagues in that category. And the breaking ball bends in. Struck out 11 the last time he faced the Orioles on May 2nd at Fenway. Recorded 101 strikeouts through his first 10 starts. Fly to right center field. On the move, Jackie Bradley to the alley. Yes. He gets there for the first out.
Tonight at 10 on NESN Sports Today, we'll have an update on Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Warriors and the Cavs. By the way, they play once every 2 weeks. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do.
So that series ought to end somewhere around September?
Yeah, sometime around September. The other teams will be going to camp.
Man, you're right. It took forever to play Game 1. It's taking forever to play Game 2.
Yeah.
Do they really need that much rest?
Well, they want us to get into the hotel in New York so we can watch.
Adam Jones with a cut and a miss. He has struck out twice. 0 for 2. It's almost like the build up to the Super Bowl for the NBA Finals. The 0-1. So with 8 starts of 10 or more strikeouts this season, and closing in as he will miss inside at 93. He struck out 3 men in the first inning and 2 men in the fourth inning. 2-2. Just not a comfortable at bat against Sale. He was not bashful about throwing inside. You know, could hit 98, 99. But then the changeup and the breaking ball can really make you look foolish. He strikes him out.
Well, as you mentioned, the breaking ball can make you look foolish, and that's what just happened to Jones. He struck him out 3 times today, twice on fastballs, and this time on the slider. See the movement. It starts, it's about belt high, ends up below the knees.
And Monday, June 12th is Chris Sale bobblehead night at Fenway. First 12,000 in attendance receive a Sale bobblehead. For tickets and more info, visit redsox.com/promos. And Machado takes a strike. He has walked and scored and grounded out to first. 3-3 our score in the bottom of the 5th. If we can get Machado here, it'll be his 9th K in the book today. And a 1-2. Left that one up top. Machado, a guy who stays in the batter's box. 2-2. Fills it up. On deck, Trumbo. Nobody on base, 2 down. Line shot. Mookie Betts started for it. He's have to go all the way to the fence now to pick this one up. Into second base, Machado with a ringing double with 2 down. That's their 4th double today off Sale.
Now, Machado had been very cool coming into this series, but he is starting to heat up. It's a fastball from Sale and a rocket that's hit by Mookie Betts out there in right field. An easy double for Machado. Gets him in a scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, he had 2 doubles in the first inning, another in the 4th, and now 1 here in the 5th. And the 11th of the season for their 3rd baseman. It's a pretty good debate who's the best defensive 3rd baseman in baseball today. If it's this guy or Arenado of Colorado.
Yeah, we don't get to see Arenado a lot, obviously. But it's tough to beat Machado.
Trumbo has struck out and popped to short. They are both elite. Well, the pitch count is high for Sale at this point in the game. 5th inning. Here comes number 100. In that very long first inning, he faced 8 batters. He's been pretty brisk since then. But not going to be one of his longer days. So the bullpen will be required. Fairly lengthy outing today from the pen, you would think. 0-2 coming. Tied him up. Down he goes. That nasty slider to strike him out. Machado left at second. 2017. Group outings are the perfect way to entertain your clients. School outings, team outings, an unforgettable event at Fenway. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Sixth inning, locked up 3-3. Last game of this series, Mitch Moreland will lead off the inning with a walk and a fielder's choice. He is 0 for 1 today. It's Hanley Ramirez and Jackie Bradley. Both starters had a rough first inning, and both have settled in and pitched better since then.
They're probably looking at one more inning today from Chris Sale.
And Chris over 100 pitches. Slap to right. That's going to drop down. He beats the shift, even though Scope was out there in shallow right field, the second baseman. And Moreland is on. For every Red Sox hit in June, Echo Store Technologies donates $50 to the Sean Thornton Foundation, helping find a cure for Parkinson's disease and pediatric cancer. Echo Store Technologies, your data center solutions provider. Hanley twice has flied out to the center fielder, so he's 0 for 2. Red Sox with 6 hits now, Baltimore with 5. Ramirez with a home run here last night in the Red Sox win and supported David Price. Price was really good, over 7. And what a huge boost that will be to this Red Sox team if that left-hander continues to pitch like that.
Well, that was fun to watch last night. His fastball averaging about 95 miles an hour last night. 92 pitches thrown in the game.
And for 7+, pretty low. Hard hit but foul. And Toronto has just jumped in front of the Yankees 3-2, 8th inning. Last of the 8th in Toronto. Hanley taking his time to get back in. Just 1 for 9 lifetime against Chris Tillman. Tried to hold up, he couldn't do it. A swing and a miss, 1-2.
Hanley all geared up for that high fastball, but it was too high. And only about halfway through that swing, Hanley said, bad choice.
He got on base 3 times last night. Drove in 3 runs. As the Sox won 5-2. All even 2-2. His home run last night came on an 0-2 count. Just the 8th time he's homered in his career out of 247 home runs on an 0-2 pitch. Down he goes hacking. Strikeout for Tillman, and Hanley's 0 for 3 today.
Good changeup right there by Tillman to pick up the strikeout as we look at the road ahead. Presented by People's United Bank. And you see the Yankee game 7 o'clock each night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Back home for a brief stay against Detroit and Philadelphia, then back on the road again.
Probable pitchers: Pomeranz, Tanaka, Porcello, Sabathia, Price against Pineda in the Yankee series. Here's Jackie Bradley, 1 for 2 with a 2-run single. 1 out in the 6th. Jackie looks like he is back in gear with his swing. He has 10 RBIs during this 6-game hitting streak, 2 home runs. Really going back even deeper than that into the season. His last 18 games, he's a .300 hitter. Nice stop by Pena. That's been said before. His dad Tony, an outstanding catcher with the Red Sox and other clubs. Now a coach for the Yankees. And at first, here's the 3-0. That missed badly for ball 4, so the Red Sox have something brewing here. First and second with one down. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Tom Caron. TC, thank you very much. I think I irritate Tom a little bit, and he's too much of a gentleman to say so. He's too well-mannered when I give the score of the game he's about to give the score of. And I think he has a right to be, but I'm like, you know.
I don't think he's irritated. I think he's focused in on what he's going to do. And look, people are switching channels all the time. I mean, you might come back and there's the score.
That's my rationale. I think he's ticked at me.
I think I irritate people like every time I open my mouth.
That's not true. Can I just say very quickly? Just very quickly.
Excuse me, I got to back up. Hi.
Sorry, I will not do it again until the next inning, probably. So my apologies. All right. I know it ticks him off. He has every right to be. Nice block by Pena again.
Excuse me, Truck. Can I move back to my position now, or do I have to stay here? So I got to stay here.
Call the rest of the game right here.
Okay.
Because the game's over here. No, you have permission to go back. We need you to. You're analyzing the game. Yeah.
I love this shot. This is just a great shot. See, I go like this. I go back.
Everybody thinks it's an expansive, gigantic booth. It's about 6 by 6. Sandoval with a double and a ground out. His first couple of at bats today. He can put the Red Sox in the lead. Moreland with a base hit. Andy Ramirez struck out. Jackie Bradley didn't get anything to swing at. He took the walk. Nobody warming up in either bullpen yet. A 3-3 tie. And Tillman with a 1-2.
That ball just sailed way away from Pena. Pena made it look pretty easy reaching out to get that. Mike Wright starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Orioles. Wright just called up a couple of days ago, the first day that we got here.
Tillman at 92 pitches. Sandoval with 4 career hits off him. And 11 at bats. Now he's gone to 3-2. He took a walk on the wild side in the first inning by walking a couple of men, and now a full count after just walking Jackie Bradley. Sandy Leon waiting on deck. 2 on. And Sandoval with a rare ball 4. So that'll load up the bases. Back-to-back free passes by Tillman.
Well, he kept trying to go away from Sandoval to see if he would chase something outside the zone, but they weren't even tempting to swing at. A couple of fastballs and that last pitch, a changeup. But they were not even in Sandoval's zone.
Just his 6th walk. 76 at bats. Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, heading out. That'll give Wright a little more time to warm up too. So single and 2 walks. They're loaded. Second time today the Red Sox have loaded the bases. Golden opportunity here now for Sandy Leon. He could use a big hit. Sandy on the days. He went back to the mound. He's also lined out hard to the center fielder. Put a good swing on it. So Sox with a chance to get on top here. They had a 2-0 lead in the first. The Orioles came storming back. They scored 3. Red Sox tied it on a Benintendi home run solo drive in the 3rd inning. That's where we sit. Leon up on the left side, and the first one is strike 1.
2 for 4 as Leon with 5 RBIs so far this season with the bases loaded. They can see his career numbers with the bases loaded. Likes this situation.
Moreland, Bradley, and Sandoval on the bases with 1 down. Strike 2.
Got a break there. That pitch appeared to be outside and very quickly down in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. First pitch strike. That last one looked like it was a little bit outside.
Tillman with the 0-2. Marrero next. Red Sox can make an out and take the lead on a fly ball of decent depth. Moreland is the runner at third base. To this point, certainly the most important at bat of the day for either side, and the 1-2. He missed with it.
Yeah, trying to change up, and there was no question it was outside. Similar to what he tried to do to Sandoval. There's the change up, outside part of the plate. About 3 or 4 inches away.
2-2. And Tillman fires. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Got him with a breaking ball to Fan Leon. That's a big out for Tillman.
Yeah, goes to the curveball, and you know, no fastballs hardly at all seen by Leon in that at bat. Sandy Leon, definitely a fastball hitter. Struggles at times with this pitch right here, the breaking ball, and that one actually bounced to home plate.
That's a bad swing in a key spot. So it's up to Marrero to salvage something in the inning. He has struck out and grounded to short today. Sox with a man at every base, but with 2 away and a 3-3 tie in the 6th. Strike 1. Moreland at third, Bradley at second, Sandoval at first, and the 0-1. Popped up, foul out of play. We've gone final in Toronto, and the Blue Jays did beat the Yankees 3-2. Came from behind to win that game. Betts on deck. But right now the game is Tillman and Marrero. Bounced up there, stopped by Pena. The runner trying to get back to third. The throw down the line. Here comes Moreland and a score. Here comes Jackie Bradley rounding third. Helmet flying off his head. He's safe at home. The Red Sox catch a huge break on Pena's misfire and take a 5-3 lead.
Oh, some sloppy baseball right there by the Orioles. They got 2 outs. They got the 9-hitter at the plate, and for some odd reason, Francisco Pena wants to make a throw to third base. Now you can see how far Moreland is off the bag, but then the throw's not even close, and 2 runs come across. You know, you look at it the second time, I can understand the throw because you see how far Moreland is off the bag. But then he's got to throw across Moreland, and it gets by Machado, and 2 runs come across for the Red Sox. That's a gift.
No doubt. 1-2. High pop up into center field, shallow. Out goes Scope. Jones coming in, and Jones will take it. Well, you had the number 9 hitter up there hitting 181, and he unleashes that throw way down the line. Big break for the Red Sox.
Have the lead, and Pena makes a throwing error. Now look at Moreland, how he comes back on the grass. Now that makes Pena throw the ball to his left, and Machado can't get to it. You see, the way he was going back to the bag, there was no open view for Pena to make that throw back to third base. So he had to throw it behind Moreland, and then losing it, I believe, was the third baseman Machado, and the Red Sox picked up a real gift there.
Pena's first career error, but it was a doozy. I think you're right. He had a shot at Moreland.
He had a shot at him, but the angle he had to throw it at, he had to throw it across his body, and I think Machado might have lost it a little bit and just couldn't reach it.
Red Sox pick up 2 runs to take a 5-3 lead.
Firstline does a nice job blocking that ball. Comes right off his shoulder, and then he knows he's got a chance at Moreland, but thrown across the body, and he knows right away that ball's going to the left field.
Ground ball, and Moreland will scoop that. Underhand toss for Sale to get Davis for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Left fielder, number 16, Trey Mancini.
That's what it feels like. But you know what? In that inning, you look at Tillman. He walks Bradley, then he walks Sandoval. After that, gets a big strikeout to Leone, and then makes that wild pitch, and everything came undone. So a couple of walks for him didn't help him.
Ace Ticket bringing you his pitching line. Does have 9 strikeouts today. And St. E is 0 for 2 last time up. He lined hard to right field, and that's a base hit to right. Pretty good looking young hitter with power. He's on here with 1 away.
Yeah, he does a real nice job there on the breaking ball by Sale. Now the ball does stay up in the zone, but you know, Mancini takes it to the opposite field, not trying to pull it. Best success, obviously, that Sale has with that breaking ball is when it's down around the ankles, not there, out over the plate.
They'll send up Jonathan Scope, who has had Sale's number today with a pair of doubles. One to drive in a run in the first inning, the other in the fourth inning. Nothing came of that. But he's 2 for 2. 5-3 Boston. It's been a couple of starts since Sale struck out as many as 10. He had that run of 8 consecutive 10 strikeout games, 10 or more. But the last 2 he's failed to reach it, 6 and 9 in the last 2. Sitting in 9 right now. And a strike. Blaine Boyer getting going in the Sox bullpen. Certainly looks like it'll be the last inning for Chris, but he has the lead. Mancini on at first. Up the middle, right near the bag. Scoop by Marrero. Got the out there on to first and turning to double play. That retires the side. Nifty footwork by Marrero. 5-3 Red Sox. McDonald's, any McCafe Bakery muffin with any size hot or iced coffee, just $1.99. And by Subaru of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a passion for summer travels. Chris Sale getting a handshake from John Farrell. He is finished for the day and in line for the win. Red Sox on top 5-3 as we go to the 7th inning. Pitching change for the Orioles too. This is Mike Wright out of their pen. 2 hopper from Mookie Betts. And he's retired quickly in 1 pitch, 1 away in the 7th.
Now Sale settled down in the game. You know, he had a rough start obviously in the first inning, giving up the 3 runs, and you know they were swinging early in the counts back then, and you know trying to stay away from strikeouts. He settled in and pitched very nicely after that. No runs allowed after the first inning. But the pitch count got built up so high early in the game that that's why he's got to leave after the 6th.
He allowed only 3 hits in his last 5 innings. He wound up with 9 strikeouts. Big double play ball there in the 6th inning. Off the bat of Scope. Benintendi looks at a strike. He has a home run today. 1 for 2. Right, called up from the minor leagues from AAA on the 31st of May. He was up and down a bunch of times last year with the Baltimore Orioles. There's another swing. Deep drive right field. That one got out of here fast. Benintendi with his second of the day. And the Sox open up a 6-3 lead.
Oh, is that nice to see? That was better than the first one. The first one more of a fly ball. It looked like, you know, surprised how far it did go. This was more of a line shot that got out of the ballpark. So a 2-home run day for Benintendi.
First of his career as far as a multi-home run game. You would think it would not be the last with that swing. He's coming alive again after a couple of slumps and feeling pretty confident. Home run in the third, another here in the seventh, and the Sox are up 6-3. Bogaerts today 1 for 3 with a base hit. Line drive. Hardy can't get to it. Second hit today for Xander Bogaerts.
Didn't we see that back in the third inning from Bogaerts?
Yes.
I mean, almost the identical same thing. Breaking ball, reaches out, covers the plate, and shoots it by the shortstop, J.J. Hardy.
Another look at Benintendi's home run. A fastball down in the zone that he goes right down there with it. And there was no doubt about this one when it left the bat.
Moreland 1 for 2. He scored one of the 2 runs in the 6th inning on a misfire by Pena down the left field line, trying to pick him off third base. Red Sox now with 8 hits. The Orioles with half a dozen. And the Ramirez on deck. Only one away. And the 0-1 to the Sox first baseman.
That's pretty nasty right there. Tough pitch to hit. Sinking fastball down and away to Moreland. You roll over, run out. It's a ground ball to the right side.
This club may lead the majors in poses and dances. I think my favorite all season was when Xander Bogaerts finally hit his first home run, and he was completely ignored.
That's an old, that goes back years and years. Guys that don't hit home runs, you know, they get that treatment all the time when they hit one.
Yeah.
But when you go so long as Bogaerts did without, you know, you get that treatment again. And it's a weird feeling when you go in the dugout. It's happened to me. I mean, it's very strange. You don't know what to do, you know.
So he celebrated himself. A trickler. Davis will scoop it, turn, got him at second, back to first, not nearly in time. Slow developing play, and Moreland safe at first base with 2 down.
You know, we talked about Bogaerts. I want to show you the 2 swings in the third, and of course, like the one in the 7th, almost identical down. And then the one in the 7th inning, the same thing, a little bit farther away. I mean, this guy he just covers the whole plate, and pulling those balls by J.J. Hardy.
I think he covers the whole plate and then maybe half of another one.
Exactly. It's got such great extension and plate coverage.
2 for 4 today. And then Ramirez with a quiet afternoon so far. He's 0 for 3. Moreland becoming a runner at first base. The Red Sox can gain ground on the Yankees today. The Yankees have lost in Toronto, so if the Sox win this game, a long way to go yet, but if they do, they will be 2 games back heading into New York on Tuesday. One and one. Yankees are also off on Monday. Jackie Bradley has had a good day on deck. Rising fastball at 95, right, throws hard. And Hanley just got a piece of it. Fans, be sure to stop by Plain Ridge Park Casino. Plain Ridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. And a swing and a miss, down he goes for strike 3. The Red Sox get another run though. Second blast of the day by Benintendi. Is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com, and by Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Beautiful day here in Baltimore. 84 degrees when we got things started. The Red Sox have a 6-3 lead. Chris Sale can pick up the win today, and that would be his 6th in a row. Let's go down to Garrett Austin.
Thanks, Opie. It is Play Ball Weekend, a league-wide campaign to encourage youth participation in all forms of baseball and softball activities. All the players are wearing Play Ball patches on their uniforms, and throughout the weekend there have been several clinics, events, and ceremonies for area kids to get them involved. And guys, kids under 14 were taking home this bat and ball today.
A hot item here.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's as hot an item as the floppy hats, because people were wearing those out of here the other night in droves. Those were really big.
What you need is the bat, ball, and a floppy hat, and get out and play some ball.
Yes, on the beach somewhere. Red Sox leading at 6-3. Blaine Boyer now out of the bullpen on in relief of Chris Sale, who went the first 6. And Boyer tossing a season-high inning in the 3rd on Thursday. It was his 398th career major league appearance. He's been around a while. 2.45 ERA. Get the impression that John Farrell trusts him. He likes to bring him into games.
Tuesday at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC Eck and Steve will break down Aaron Judge's success and preview the Sox next series against the Yankees.
Beginning on Tuesday, it'll be Pena, Hardy, and Rickert against Boyer. All 3 runs that Chris Sale allowed came in the first inning.
Well, she's all tatted up too, isn't she? We've seen those folks before. They've been here all weekend.
Great seats.
Yeah.
Right behind the Sox dugout. Pena struck out twice, so he's delighted that Chris Sale is no longer in the game. He's also committed a key error, a throwing error down the left field line that produced 2 runs for the Sox. Meanwhile, Robbie Scott getting going in the pen. Well, you knew at that long first inning that Chris Sale would not have a terribly deep game. There's a floater to right field. That'll find a home on the grass. And it'll be a base hit, a blooper for Pena to begin the seventh.
And Pena just happy to make contact. A couple of strikeouts, one on a fastball, one on a breaking ball against Sale. This time a little bloop down the right field line gets him to single.
Upgrade your day with DD Perks. You can earn a free beverage when you enroll and speed past the line with on-the-go ordering. DD Perks, everybody deserves an upgrade. Download the Dunkin' app today. Speeding past the line may not be possible at all locations. Hardy's 0 for 2. Ground out and strikeout. Houston Astros have jumped out in front of Texas 4-0 in the fourth inning. If they win today, that's 10 in a row for the Astros. They are quietly having a great season. I think quietly because the rest of the country isn't focusing so much on the Astros in the AL West. But they are the first club to get to 40 wins this year. Fouled away. Fans, you can help NESN by taking a quick 2-minute survey and enter for a chance to win a VIP NESN experience at the ballpark. Visit NESN.com/survey during today's game for your chance to win. Double play ball. Bogarts to Marrero. 1, the turn 2. Second one in the last 2 innings for the Red Sox infield.
Yeah, both have been very big. The one to end the sixth inning. The 4-3 by Marrero. Now 6-4-3 for the Red Sox to get 2 quick outs.
That'll send up the top of their order. Rickard, he's gone 1 for 3 with a double. The attendance today here in Baltimore, 31,819. And the base is empty. From the right-hander, zipped in there for a strike. Likes to sit there on 93 with that fastball. Drew Pomerantz going on Tuesday. Back-to-back terrific outings.
He's all excited about it.
Yeah, he can't wait. 5-3 with a 4.24 ERA, but and 7 in his last one, taking on Masahiro Tanaka. One, 2, and a fly ball to left field hangs up for Benintendi, and that will retire the side. We've wrapped up 7. Red Sox in front, 6-3. 5-13 can enjoy Red Sox baseball camps this summer. Campers receive 4 days of first-class baseball instruction, a uniform, and special Fenway Park visits. Camps available in Providence and throughout the Boston metro area. You can visit redsox.com/camps for more information. 8th inning, 6-3. Red Sox have the lead here in Baltimore. Jackie Bradley's been a big part of it with a 2-run single in the first inning, and he scored a run after walking in the 6th. One hopper, and Scope from shallow right will get him on away.
You know, the good sign about Bradley right now is, you know, he's getting his hits, obviously, but even his outs have been more solid contact than he was making for quite some time.
One man gone. The CVS Health Charity Classic is at a 2-day family-friendly food festival. That's Crave, Rhode Island, June 15 and 16. For tickets and information, visit CVSHealthCharityClassic.com. Sandoval, a ground ball foul. He has doubled, grounded out, and taken a walk in this one. So his batting average creeping up a little bit to 237. Long way to go yet for him. Leon on deck. Out of play, 1-2. A win by Toronto to beat the Yankees moves the Blue Jays for the second time recently to within 1 game of 500. They're only 5.5 out of first. Cut and miss. Sandoval retired. 2 down.
Good change out there by Wright to pick up the strikeout against Sandoval. So Sandoval with a 1-for-3 afternoon, had that double back in the 2nd inning. Here's the changeup. You can see the grip, and you'll see this ball spin and run away.
Sandy Leon today 0-for-3. And chopper, that's going to be a fair ball. Davis with it to the pitcher, and he's 0-for-4. Red Sox go in order here in the 8th inning, on top 6-3 over the Orioles. Trusted source for Red Sox tickets. From bleachers to boxes, Ace has the lowest prices with a 200% guarantee. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Red Sox in front 6-3 here. Barrero will shift from second base over to third. Rutledge now in the game at second base, so Sandoval is out. Barrero taken over there for defensive reasons. And Boyer staying on to pitch here in the last half of the 8th inning. Tough part of the order. It's Jones, Machado, Trumbo.
3 strikeouts in the game for Jones against Sale. Fastball first time, fastball second time. And then the big sweeping breaking ball after that.
Bounding ball, friendly hop from Barrero. 1 gone. Jones is 0 for 4. Lexus has developed the Lexus Strikeout Hunger program in partnership with Nesson and the Greater Boston Food Bank. Visit your Boston area Lexus dealer in June and donate non-perishable food items. For more information, visit Nesson.com/Lexus. Barnes and Scott side by side. Kimbrel needed 33 pitches last night as he pitched in the 8th and the 9th. So you know John Farrell will do everything he can to stay away from him.
Yeah, the Red Sox also have an off day tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when you get to the 9th inning.
Machado hits a bullet. That got to the track, off the fence, a big bounce. Benintendi's throw, going to be a play at second base. Here's the tag. He's safe. He got around it. Machado with his second double today.
Now there's that head first slide again, working to the benefit of the runner. He can see where the ball is. He slides to the outside part, the outfield part of the second base bag, and gets there before the tag of Rutledge. A good play, good throw there by Benintendi, though.
I realize there are a lot of feelings about Machado among Red Sox fans, but he is a heck of a young player.
He really is. He can play. He can play this game of baseball.
Here's Trumbo now 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He's also popped up. 6-3 Boston. 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. It's now even at 8. Get Davis on deck. Scott all warmed up in the bullpen, the left-hander. Two 2-0.
Trumbo's faced Boyer a couple of times in his career. 0 for 2 against him.
And the 2-0. He's gone to ball 3. If he walks him, that brings the tying run up to the plate in a home run hitter.
And probably Robbie Scott into the game to face him.
And the 3-0 from Blaine Boyer. That's an automatic strike. Red Sox bullpen trying to lock this one up for Chris Sale. Sale wins it. He improves to 7-2. And that would be 6 consecutive wins for the lefty. 3-1. High fly popped into right. Out goes Moreland, and Rutledge coming on Betts. Nice play by Moreland. He throws back to third base. The runner holding at second.
What did he make that look easy? And that was not easy at all. Back to home plate, going back out to the outfield. Betts didn't have a chance at it. And looks like a wide receiver on an over the shoulder long bomb from Tom Brady.
One of your favorite plays. So John Farrell has made the call to the bullpen. It will be Scott coming in to face Davis. with a runner at second base, but now 2 down after a nifty play by Moreland. And we'll be back with more in a moment. Is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Inner Harbor here in Baltimore. Our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Chris Sale went 6, struck out 9. He can get the win. Benintendi has had a day with a pair of home runs. Multi-home run day for the first time in his career. And now Chris Davis will come up with a runner at second base, and the Red Sox leading 6-3. 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Robbie Scott with one job: get this man. And Davis with 12 home runs, none today. He's gone 1 for 3 with a 2-run single. The Orioles have not hit a home run today. And strike 1.
Taking third base was Machado on that. Of course, the Red Sox in the big shift. Nobody at third base.
Indifference, defensive indifference, so no stolen base. And the 0-1 slap foul, so Scott in front, 0-2 on Davis. He strikes him out. It'll be the 10th K in the book today for the Red Sox, all by the left-handers. Sale had the first 9. And the 0-2 pitch. He struck him out looking. Side retired with a man left at third base. We go to the 9th, 6-3 Red Sox. Sports episode of Nesson Clubhouse. Catch the encore presentation today right after our game. We learn about girls making strides in the game of baseball. Nesson Clubhouse presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Ninth inning. Devin Marrero has moved from second over to third during the course of the contest. He's 0 for 3. Turned a really nifty double play. He started himself. Some great footwork. Now Workman is going in the bullpen. We talked about the fact that Kimbrel threw 33 pitches last night. Fouled away on deck Mookie Betts, and then Andrew Benintendi, who'll be looking for his third home run today. So a heavy workload for the closer in the victory last night. And that'll be in there for strike 3. Marrero fans for the second time today. One gone in the ninth. And Betts is next. Mookie's gone 1 for 4. He started the day with an infield single and he scored the first run. He and Benintendi both crossing home plate in the first inning. Red Sox took a 2-0 lead. And the Orioles got 3 in the first. Red Sox tied it in the third with another run. Then scored twice in the 6th and another run in the 7th. The key play really was the 6th inning and the misfire by the catcher Pena, which was a 2-run error down the left field line. That gave the Sox a 5-3 lead, and then Benintendi hit another home run. Richard Blyer, the left-hander, loosens in the Baltimore pen. Here's the 3-1. Mookie liked it, 94 miles an hour, but he flicked it foul. Betts came up with his 500th career hit in the first inning. He's now 24 years old. Ball 4. So Betts is aboard with his 8 stolen bases. Here comes Benintendi.
2 home runs on a day for Benintendi back in the 3rd inning. Gets a fastball that's down and takes it onto the ballpark, and then in this 7th inning, fastball a little bit higher and more of a line drive home run that time for Benintendi.
And Tuesday, the Red Sox make their first trip to the Bronx to take on the front-running Yankees. The Pinstripes have been powered to the top of the division by the rookie phenom Aaron Judge. Coverage begins on Tuesday night at 6 on Nesson. And here comes Buck Showalter. With the left-hander ready in the bullpen, he will make the move right here.
here this afternoon. No real flow to this game, but a good lead for the Red Sox right now.
Up by 3, Benintendi looking for home run number 3 on the day, and they have been, if you're just tuning in and you missed them, very different home runs. First one high, majestic, really carried and carried and carried. It was up there all day. Second one was out of the ballpark in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah,
he really jumped on it. So he has 7. Looks like he is beginning to warm up again, and the Red Sox really need that. Last night it was Hanley Ramirez, and today Andrew Benintendi. Red Sox with a man at first base and Mookie Betts, and Blyer is all warmed up and ready to go. Sox are 3-3 on the trip. So looking to get on the winning side of this road trip heading for New York, and the Yankees lost in Toronto. So a Boston win, and the Red Sox are just 2 games back in second place. Betts with 8 stolen bases, the runner at first. One man away. He'll take ball 1. We are in the 9th inning at Camden Yards. After today, the Red Sox will not see this beautiful ballpark again until the 18th of September. It'll be a 3-game series here.
So we catch it before the humidity comes, and then we get it again when the humidity is leaving in Baltimore.
Oh, you can't beat that.
I mean, scheduling just beautiful.
Down low. About 5 innings ago, we were blasting holes in the schedule because, you know.
Well, when you really come to think about comfort.
Yeah. Then on the other hand, we have to think about our own comfort. Boy, it can be hot and sticky here. It won't be for the Red Sox. Runner goes. They got him picked. Davis spins, throws the tag. He's safe. He got in there. That's just too fast for them. Safely down to second.
Yeah, the old trick, you know, against a left-hander is just go on his first move. You know, as soon as he makes a move with something, take off like Betts did right there, and then make the first baseman throw you out. And most of the time, they can't do it. Not if you get speed like Mookie Betts. You see, he had to throw that ball high over Betts' head, and by the time they come down with the tag, he's in safely. Drives me nuts when I see players get picked off and get caught in a rundown. It makes no sense. Just continue to second base.
So his 9th stolen base. Now the scoring position with 1 away. Red Sox continue to get a very high rate of success from 3 different guys. One of them hitting right now, Benintendi, Xander Bogaerts, and Mookie Betts, the other 2. Last 3 home run game by a member of the Red Sox was Mookie Betts, not against Baltimore, if you guessed that, but against Arizona. So he did it a couple of times last year to finish second in the MVP voting. And now you wonder, Jerry, with Trout hurt, that opens the door not just for Mookie Betts, but for a lot of guys to make a run at that MVP. You would think that stretch of time would have a big effect on Trout's chances, but he's such a great player. He could come back with a vengeance. That's outside, and the count goes to 3-2. Full count of Benintendi. Bogaerts next. That's a base hit to right field. Here comes Mookie rounding third. He's going to score without a throw. 7-3 Red Sox. What a day for Benintendi. His 3rd RBI.
Yeah, they go to the lefty to try to get him out, but the lefty makes the same mistake. He keeps the ball inside, and that's the pitch that Benintendi hits the best. Watch the location. Stays middle of the plate. You can see right there he tops it on the ground, picks up the base hit. And Betts, who was off stealing second base, gets in there safely and scores on the base hit. And these tack-on runs really help when you don't have Kimbrel in the bullpen.
Xander Bogaerts 2 for 4. So the 7th time that Benintendi's had a 3-hit game, but remember 2 of them are home runs today. 3 RBIs. He's already scored 3 runs. He takes off. Waved at and missed. The throw not a good one, and he slides in safely with the theft.
I mean, they're just taking advantage of Blyer. They're just taking off and going, you know, because he's slow everywhere. He's slow to first base. He's slow to home, and that time he goes home with it. No chance. You know, Pena trying to throw from his knees. There's Pena from his knees trying to throw. They know they have to do that because they get such a great jump.
0-2 on Bogaerts. Now, since the start of 2015, Xander hits .339 against lefties. Not this time. That one ate him up, and he strikes out. So 2 away. Now Matt Barnes was back with the club after missing a couple of days on a personal issue, and warming up in the Boston pen. Ninth inning, Red Sox leading 7-3. A victory, and the Sox split the series. Moreland with an RBI opportunity, looking at strike 1 on the day. A walk, a fielder's choice ball, a single, and another fielder's choice. He has scored a run. In fact, a big run, because he was the man at third when Pena fired that bad throw down the left field line for the 2-run error in the 6th. Red Sox fans making some noise, and the Oriole fans don't like it too much. High fly, pretty well hit, backing up Mancini with room though, and he'll make that catch on the warning track to retire the side. But Benintendi stays hot. He drives in his 3rd run. Red Sox lead 7-3 to the bottom of the 9th we go. The Red Sox on top 7-3. They have out hit the Orioles 9-8. Andrew Benintendi, one of the brightest stars today, the 22-year-old with 2 homers, 3 RBIs. Jackie Bradley drove in a pair of runs in the first inning. Chris Sale went the first 6, had a high pitch count after the first inning, so you knew it wasn't going to be a real deep day for Sale, but he did strike out 9, and he can win it.
He could, and then, you know, he struggled in the first inning, but really settled down after that into his game.
So Barnes out of the pen. Mancini, Scope, Pena, the scheduled batters here in the 9th inning for the Orioles. Mancini has gone 1 for 3 with a base hit. And the first one from a hard throwing right-hander. That's strike 1. He tossed a perfect 8th inning to get his 7th hold of the year on Wednesday against the White Sox. Does have a 2.16 ERA in his last 8 appearances. That one punched to Rutledge. And the second baseman gets him for fast out in the 9th. Jonathan Scope next. He had a pretty good day going. 2 doubles. And he's also hit into a double play. And Kim has come to the on deck area. He would hit for Pena. Red Sox with a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. Looking for a split here. No baseball tomorrow night, but on Tuesday back on Nesson. Sox and the Yankees. Pomeranz against Tanaka. First of 3. Yankees lost today to Toronto. The boys getting ready back in the studio for the postgame show. TC and Steve on your way next. And the 1-1. Line foul out of play. Game really turned in the Red Sox favor in the 6th inning on a defensive mistake by Francisco Pena, the catcher for the Orioles. That's the man that Kim will hit for. One, 2. He was late.
Barnes up to 95 with his fastball after having a few days off.
Matt leaving the ball club for a few days on a personal issue. One down, base is empty, and the 1-2. He bounced it up there right past everybody.
You could see Leone pointing to the front of the plate because he wanted the breaking ball down. Well, he got it down all right, but only about 45 feet.
The 2-2. Came after him with that curveball of his, and it counts still 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down. Red Sox have been pretty good on getaway days, rate 4 on getaway days, like today. 14-8 in day games. 2-2. Tried to hold up and did on a pitch down into the dirt to make it 3-2. Red Red Sox dropped the first 2 games of this series. They're trying to win the last 2. And head to New York with some momentum. Here comes the 3-2 to Scope. And looped into right field for a base hit. He didn't really hit it very hard, but hard enough for his 3rd base hit today.
Yeah, base hit back in the 1st inning to drive a run, a double in the 4th inning, and now going to the opposite field here in the 9th. Gets that fastball inside out swing. It's not exactly crushed, as you mentioned, Dave, but hit number 3 for Jonathan Scope.
Hyun-Soo Kim now is a pinch hitter, batting for Pena, went 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Kim doesn't play all that much. Getting an opportunity here in a pinch hit role. And looking at strike 1 at 97. Well, to win, the Red Sox would be 6-7 against the Orioles head-to-head, but we'll not see them for a while after this. Softly hit. Marrero charging, has time to get him at first and does. Down to second. Scope with 2 away.
Now, Marrero just looks so slick down at third base. There's not a play that he has to make that he doesn't look comfortable making it. Backhanded plays, charging the ball, going to his left. Everything. Just makes it look easy. And you know, we talked about it, Dave, at the beginning of this trip, that it's not easy moving from one position to another and making it as successful as he's made it.
Yeah, there have been a lot of veteran third basemen in this league do not look as comfortable over there as he does.
He looks very smooth, very comfortable making all the plays, going to his backhand, charging the ball, and going to his left.
John Farrell bringing him in for defensive purposes to play third, moving him from second base. Paid off right there. Here's Hardy now. He's 0 for 3. Runner at second base, 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. Red Sox up by 4. And he'll look at a strike. Again, 97. Seth Smith has a bat. He's on deck. If it gets to him. 31,819. The crowd today at Camden Yards. Red Sox an out away from a victory. And a strike away from a win. The Red Sox would be 4-3 on this trip if they salt this one away. Hardy with numbers against Barnes. But Barnes has him in the hole. Two down in the 0-2. 1-2. Win would put the Red Sox 6 games over 500 at 31-25 going to New York City. Scope at second. Here's the 1-2. And he got him. He struck him out with a curveball, and the ball game is over. The Red Sox win it 7-3. They split the series here in Baltimore. And TC, the Red Sox go to New York City. The 3 games with the Yankees, 2 games out.